going live. Good.
All right. Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, January 14th, 2021. This is the Subdivision Committee. Let's start with introductions. I'm Russ Ford with Planning and Building Services.
Mike Bell, Department of Transportation.
And I'm Marlena Dooley, Division of Environmental Health.
Okay, so let's start with agenda item 2A, which is boundary line adjustment 2020-35 for Duval Family Holdings LLC. This is a boundary line adjustment to transfer 40 acres from parcel 1 to parcel 2, about 3 miles northeast of Philo on the east side of Clow Ridge Road. So let's start with environmental health. Do you have any comments?
No, is there anyone here for this item?
Actually, yeah, let's back up. Do we have anybody representing this? I don't see anyone. Okay, EH, any comments?
No comments.
Okay, transportation?
No comment.
And planning is recommending standard conditions. So, Marlena, can I get a motion?
Sure. I motion that we approve boundary line 2020-0035 with standard conditions.
Can I get a second?
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, agenda item 2B, boundary line adjustment 2020-45 for Will Whiteside, Roland, and Barbara Wenzel. This is a boundary line adjustment to reconfigure 3 lots in Talmadge, 5 miles southeast of Ukiah on the south side of Twining Road. Let's see, the agent is Ron Franz, but I don't think he's here. Do we have anybody representing this application today? I don't think so.
Vance, I think, is here for that one, isn't he?
Vance, no,
No.
CM4A.
Okay, no.
Okay, environmental health, any comments?
Yeah, I want to find out how many farm labor houses are on parcel 3 and what their addresses are, and the second residential unit that's on parcel 3, what its address is also. And I asked Vandy, and he was trying to work on it, but to no avail.
Okay. So does this potentially affect your approval? Is this something you'd want to continue?
No, but we've got 4 houses out there and 1 address, and my files and records are all by address. So I can't review all of it without all of that. But that being said, I don't think the portion that is changing is going to affect the septics because of the size of the parcels, but I'm not 100% certain on that.
Okay. What would you prefer we do? Do you want to kick it to February and get another chance to look at it?
Well, I'm kind of surprised Ron's not here. He seems to always attend. I wanted to ask him, I was hoping he'd be able to clear some of that up. Could we kick it to the end of the meeting and give him a chance to show up? Or else I'll follow up with him.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard from Vandy. Have you heard from Ron? Do you know if he was planning to attend?
He will not be attending this meeting.
So I could add a special condition that the new boundary line maintain required setbacks to leach fields, because I really have no idea where that cabin's leach field is.
Okay.
Or, yeah, don't know where.
Do you want an updated map with some of that information?
Sure. I mean, I'm hoping they have it. I would have thought Ron would have, yeah. If he has it, of course. And be happy to help him work on it.
Okay.
But I don't feel like kicking their whole boundary line on that. I feel like adding a special condition would be all right.
Okay. I'm just writing one here.
Town map with leach fields.
What'd you say, Mike?
You want an updated map with the leach field shown on, is what you said?
Well,
So I've got, here's my condition. Applicant shall submit a revised tentative map showing the existing leach fields and setbacks to proposed line.
all right, I'll take it.
That would be special conditions of approval. Okay, transportation, do you have any comments?
No comment.
Okay. All right, you want to make a motion?
I motion we approve boundary line adjustment 2020-0045 with special EH condition that applicant shall submit a revised map with location of existing leach fields identified and setbacks to proposed property line identified.
Okay.
I second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, agenda item 2C, boundary line adjustment 2020-46 for Tom and Cheryl Snyder and Lee and Pamela Rodriguez and Andrew Snyder. This is a boundary line adjustment to reconfigure the boundaries between 3 existing parcels about a mile and a half north of Redwood Valley on the west side of East Road, opposite Road J. So is there anybody here representing this application? Looks like Vance is here.
All right.
Okay, transportation, any comments?
No comment.
Environmental health?
No issues, no comments.
Okay. And planning is just recommending standard conditions. So can I get a motion?
Motion that we approve boundary line adjustment 2020-0046 with standard conditions.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vance wants to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, man.
Did you have a comment, Vance? You're muted.
Part 6.
There we go.
Use his phone. Yeah.
We got the chipmunk effect again. You got to call in on a landline or something.
He's on the landline. He just has to unmute. Star 6.
Oh. That's so weird. His phone is the only one that I've heard do that, and it does it every time.
Vance,
Every
you'll
time.
need to mute your
I know.
computer and unmute your phone. Yeah, we can't understand you went through the phone, through the computer.
Star 6.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yes. All
I
right.
hit it like 10 times and it didn't go. Sorry about that.
All right, so let's back. Did you have any comments for that Snyder BLA?
No, and I emailed Ron when you guys were talking about his, and I haven't heard from him. So
Okay.
sounds like you guys have that all taken care of.
Yeah, we just added a special condition there. That shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so we have no minor subdivisions today. So we're on agenda item 4A, which is a pre-application conference, PAC 2020-09 for Michael Berry. Agent is Vance Ricks. This is a pre-application conference for a potential minor subdivision, creating 2 new parcels and a remainder parcel. New parcels would be 165 and 188 acres each, with the remainder parcel being 240 acres. 10 miles north of Redwood Valley on either side of Tomkai Road, about a mile south of its intersection with Canyon Road at 20740 Tomkai Road. So the staff planner here is Vandy. So Vandy, why don't you give us a little overview here?
Sure. So as you mentioned, this is a minor subdivision of a roughly 593 acres across 2 parcels. And the subdivision would be creating 2 legal parcels plus a remainder. The plan is to split the parcels based on Tom Kai Road. So there would be 2 parcels on the west side of Tom Kai Road, and the remainder parcel would be on the east side of Tom Kai Road. Going through the additional information section, this is within the Redwood Valley MAC area. It's considered high to very high fire hazard by CAL FIRE, who is the responsible fire agency for this property. It is adjacent to timber production zoning, but not to any agricultural preserves. There would be the inclusionary housing fee, to keep that in mind, based on the creation of 2 new parcels.
It's 3 or more, from my understanding, for inclusionary housing.
Two
Is that
or
correct?
more vacant parcels. It has to do with the number of unimproved lots.
It's 2 or more than 2, from my understanding.
Two or more unimproved vacant lots. So there will be there's potentially 3 vacant lots here, so that qualifies for the 2% of the median income.
Well, it'll be 2 and a remainder.
Right.
Right,
they're-
still 2 unimproved parcels.
So, wow.
So then moving on, there were a number of concerns I did have with the project. So they're in the additional comments section. So I'll just go through them. So with regard to split zoning, I need to look more into it, but there is a requirement that when you're creating a split zone parcel, that if there is zoning that is within, how do I say this? So one of the parcels is currently legal non-conforming, or is currently conforming. And so with the subdivision, there has to be that parcel remaining as a conforming lot with the zoning district requirements for a minimum parcel size. And
I don't get, what?
so, hold on, let me try to explain this better. Let me look at the map. So
We have 1 legal parcel with, I believe, 2 assessor numbers. So I don't get where the illegal non-conforming is coming from.
no, so the issue is that when we're creating when we're doing the subdivision and a parcel is split zoned, currently the rangeland portion of these parcels are conforming. So it meets the minimum acreage. However, when we do the subdivision, one of the parcels is going to have a split zoning, and it would go from conforming to non-conforming.
We still meet the 160 minimum.
Not only for one of the zoning districts, though. You need to meet it for both zoning districts if they're currently both
So,
consistent.
Vandy, how many acres are currently in the forest land section?
So I don't have the exact acreage, but Tom Kai, or so.
You've got the AS400s printed, right? We could look at that. I think it might be on that.
The parcel that is currently has the APN of 108-010. Sorry. The parcel with an APN of 108-181-09 is currently in FL. And the other 2 parcel APNs are in rangeland. So the 2 large parcels of the 3 are currently conforming with their zoning districts. They're both, one's in rangeland and that's conforming to 160, and one is in forest land and that's conforming to 160. The issue is that going from those into the way that the subdivision is planned is that we're taking rangeland and making it non-conforming because it's now going to be a
Wait.
split parcel.
Say that, which parcel that you said was rangeland, that one on the west side of Tom Kai ending in 25?
The east parcel is rangeland.
Which is, yeah, we're fine. The remainder, that's going to be about 240 acres.
Right, but what I'm saying is that, so if the subdivision is occurring along Tom Kai Road, and the west are becoming two different parcels, that means there is portions of rangeland being included in the two new parcels, and that rangeland portion can't go into non-conforming.
So, Vance, I think I see what Vandy's talking about. So the parcel, Vandy, correct me if I'm wrong, the property east of the road is fine. That one's not a concern. The property west of the road is split zone. It's mostly forest land, but there's a little bit of rangeland there as well. And so what we would end up doing is, if you split that, you would have two parcels that would individually be over 160 acres, but you would not have 160 acres either of forest land or of rangeland.
And the only
Which is on that
parcel at the moment is that north one, the small one, on the north end with a parcel number of
25.
108211-25. So that one is already non-conforming with rangeland. So as long as the forest land portion remains conforming, do I need to call in on the phone?
No, that was me. That's my other phone going off. That's Ron.
All right. So one of these parcels would be fine because the rangeland's already legal non-conforming, but when we do the subdivision, that west parcel is now including rangeland. Because right now it's just forest land, but with the addition of rangeland, it has a new zoning, and it needs to be consistent with those zoning district requirements, which is a minimum acreage of 160. So that's the issue.
So do you think that's a deal breaker? I mean,
I'm working on another project right now, and we can't move forward on that project because of the exact same reason. And it's in not only the Subdivision Map Act, but it's in our Chapter 17 that says that any subdivision has to be compliant with the zoning district requirements. So if we're bringing a portion of this rangeland into a new parcel, it has to meet, because it's conforming right now, it has to be conforming when the subdivision occurs.
right. So because there's no way to get 160 acres that's entirely forest land or entirely rangeland on the west side of Tom Kai, that's kind of a stumbling block.
Exactly. I have some other issues I need to bring up, but that was really the biggest one.
Okay. So one option there would just be to reduce it to a 2-parcel subdivision.
Correct. I'm not sure how much acreage of rangeland that small parcel plus the west side of the rangeland parcel, the rangeland parcel, the west side, I'm so sorry. I am not doing well with words today. So the portion of the rangeland parcel that's west of Tom Kai Road plus that small parcel to the north, that would have to equal 160 acres to get 2 parcels.
Well, I think typically what we've done for split zone parcels, as long as it's conforming to one of the 2 split zones, we've let it go.
Yes.
No, it has to be conforming to both if you're going from conforming into the subdivision. I have another project that I've been working on, and this is the exact same issue that came up, was that they have multiple parcels with all of them being in conforming zoning, and they're trying to subdivide it so that there will be one parcel that's split zoned, and neither parcel, or one parcel would be, or one zoning district would be compliant with the minimum acreage, but one would not. And we can't move forward with that project until that. So, and I can go find the code that says that it needs to be compliant with both zoning districts. If it's coming from compliant on both ends, it needs to go compliant into the subdivision. So the
Wait. When you keep saying we have a parcel that's legal, non-conforming, right now we just have one piece of property.
So I think what he
That's
means
where
is,
I'm getting, yeah.
right now it's conforming to both zoning districts because there's at least 160 acres in rangeland and there's at least 160 acres in forest land.
exactly. So we can go from the conforming to both to conforming to one. It has to remain conforming to both.
Huh, that's a new one.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
What code is that?
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, because we've dealt with this as long as we conform to the minimum lot requirements. Split zoning has never been an issue.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is that the subdivision would not conform to both districts because you are creating your parcel east of Tom Kai Road. That one is legal conforming, and that one would remain legal conforming with the subdivision. However, creating
Correct.
two parcels on the west side of Tom Kai, both parcels would go from, well, one of them would go from conforming to rangeland requirements to not. And if you're saying this is one legal parcel with 3 APNs, then both zoning
Yeah.
districts are currently compliant. So we can't go from 2 compliant districts to 1 compliant and 1 non-compliant.
And I understand where you're coming from, Vance, because I know that we've looked at some of these split zones in the past, but I don't recall off the top of my head if it was the same situation where the existing lots were conforming to all of their split zonings. My guess is no, in that they were maybe conforming to one and non-conforming to another, where you had like 160 acres of rangeland and then 10 acres of forest land or something, which would change the outcome.
Yeah, I'd like to see that ordinance on there.
If we prefer, we can continue this item and I can get the codes for next time.
Or you can just send it to me. I mean, once again, this is just a prac review. This is the reason
Yeah,
why
just
we do this.
you can just follow up after with Vance and email some of that information.
Okay, so then I'll follow up on that regulation stuff. And then, so then moving on from that, another issue that was raised by Fish and Wildlife, and then CAL FIRE said that they would join, but I don't see them in attendance. But the Tom Kai Road that goes through the property, as I'm sure you're aware, it's not at all improved. There's multiple stream crossings. So at the very least, there's going to be mitigation measures to deal with that because we're creating new traffic that could potentially go through this section of Tom Kai. And Department of Fish and Wildlife has great concerns about the number of stream crossings and the increased level of traffic for the creek. So there would.
That's if they come up from Redwood Valley as opposed to Canyon Road.
Right, but during my analysis, I mean, unless we put up a gate that prevents any through traffic from going through Tom Kai, which would require the approval from DOT. I mean,
It's already a county road.
What?
They said Tom Kai is already a deeded county road.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that when I do my environmental analysis, I'm going to have to consider traffic coming from both Willits and Redwood Valley. There's no way, unless a gate or something that prevents traffic from coming up from the Redwood Valley side, I have to include that in my environmental analysis. And I'm saying that there would be mitigation required due to the number of stream crossings on Tom Kai. And then moving on from that, additionally, I noticed that the parcel is extremely hilly and the slope is very steep for a majority of the parcel. So I would require building envelopes so that, there's shown buildable areas on the proposed parcels. Otherwise, because the slope is greater than 20% for a majority of the parcels. And any access road, would have to go through CAL FIRE and DOT to ensure that it meets those requirements. And I also did a drive-by, and there were multiple abandoned vehicles. So due to debris and junkyard conditions, a condition of approval for the project would also include site cleanup to remove all the debris and junkyard condition.
Yeah, that's off the road. Yeah, that's the problem they're having up here on this site is the amount of garbage that is being left.
Right. So, I mean, I've worked on other subdivisions that have similar conditions, and we require that before the subdivision be finalized and recorded, that the site be cleaned up. And well, with that, I don't know if there's any questions or any comments by the other departments, but that was what I had.
So one thing, just while we're still in the planning section, so right now the way that it's proposed, the 2 parcels and the remainder, that would be the inclusionary housing fee would be $7,840, which is 2% of the median home price. We're still using that $392,000 figure. The other thing, and I just mentioned this because in Vandy's analysis, he says that there's some, looks like there's some hoop houses out there. It looks like there's some old cannabis cultivation sites. Because of that provision in the cannabis ordinance, these would be considered new lots created after 1/1/16, so they would not be eligible for cannabis cultivation. I think it's important to point that out. I'm not sure what
Even it being the remainder.
If it didn't exist as of 1/1/16, it is not eligible. Period.
Okay.
So let's go to environmental health. Alana, do you have any comments?
Standard comments, Vance, it would be septic and water. The only
Yep.
thing I noticed in the packet is that the one fee in the subdivision project estimates of fees, the environmental health fee, which is the last fee, is the fee for subdivisions with public water and public sewer. I did not get that from this application. I would love if that was the case, but it's my impression that that is not the case. And our fee would be the fee for subdividing parcels that have on-site water and on-site septic, which is not 411. It is 630.
Yeah, just the standard, the permit fee for the app to have it submitted. Then they would pull the permit. Yeah, site evaluation permit or fee. I'm sorry.
No. So you have to pay to apply for a subdivision, right?
Yes.
To planning. And on that estimate that was given to you, the very last fee includes EH's review of the subdivision. That fee was quoted incorrectly.
Oh, let me update that then. Hang on. There's only 50 pages here, so let me get to it.
It's just one page in the back.
Oh, it's at the back?
Well, it wasn't mine. If you've been shuffling things, who knows?
No. That's fire, CAL FIRE. This is permitting. I saw the fee here. Anyhow, I'll just write it down. Go ahead. What is it again?
It's 630.
630 per site, correct?
No, per application.
Total? Okay.
We will charge, there are separate fees for reviewing septic plans that are not a part of this estimate that EH has a fee sheet for, and I can tell you about. Those are standard. But what the review fee is for the subdivision was wrong.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, and Vance, you've already spoken to transportation about their concerns?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that part is covered. So do you have any other questions for us? I think we've kind of gone through our bit.
Well, I think if they're going to make us put in bridges over stream crossings, I think that's done. That's DOA.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, so Vandy, I'll just ask you to follow up with Vance on that code section about the zoning, and so Vance, just reach out to us if you have any other concerns or you want to discuss.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hey, enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.
Okay, so we are on to agenda item 5, matters from staff. Marlena, do you have anything you want to discuss?
You know I do. No, I'm kidding. I just have one small one.
Okay.
On the boundary line adjustment review sheet that the planners are creating,
Okay.
it would be very helpful for EH's clerical staff if when you guys create that sheet, you would include the addresses.
Are you talking about the brown sheet?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're in the application and the applicants are putting them there, but they're not making it to the front sheet, which would be easier instead of having my staff dig like ferrets through applications.
Sure. Okay. And I know that we've discussed that before. They're typically supposed to be included, so we'll just do a little refresher.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I know it's hard, but all my records are by address.
Yeah.
And 1950s and 60s are by owner name. So it really matters for us.
Copy that. Mike, this is your one subdivision meeting every 20 years. You have any comments?
I do not. I don't have any. There's not many on here.
Is Alex still with you guys? Is this a
Yeah, he's there. He's busy today. Him and Amber both. So
Oh yeah.
I
I
have
heard
done
you
this
guys got
before years ago. So
I just wondered. I only ever see you guys every once in a while, and I heard you guys got the water agency, so I can imagine how busy you are.
yeah, I don't see anybody hardly anymore. I come to the front door, throw everything in the bin, and I run. You know, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that'll change soon.
I hope so. I don't know when we'll get vaccinated.
We'll have to see
I have
what's
no
on the
idea.
list.
I know a couple of guys out there at DOT got vaccinated when that refrigerator went bad down at the hospital. They went down to the conference center and somebody called and says, "Hey, come on down." Well, I wasn't around.
So I guess if we're all done, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. I don't know if we need a motion for that. If you want to make one.
I think it wouldn't hurt.
Okay.
All right. I motion that we adjourn Minor Subdivision Committee January 14th, 2020.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Marlene, good seeing you.
You too. Bye.
Are we clear?